I think word is finally getting around that you can't just use generic templates to appeal, that you can't use ChatGPT to appeal. I think Amazon's catching AI use in appeals and they just throw them away.
Hey there. Thanks for tuning in to the e-commerce evolution podcast. I want to take just a minute and tell you a little bit about my agency, OMG Commerce. Now, we work with some of your favorite 8 and 9 figure D2C and omni-channel brands, and our specialty is profitable scale. We love taking great brands and amplifying their growth profitably. We've helped a number of brands go from zero on YouTube to spending as much as $1 million in 90 days while hitting a CAC or CPA target. We've also helped multiple brands launch on Amazon or just add scale to Amazon. We took Boom Beauty from zero to almost $6 million in sales their first 12 months on Amazon. So if you're not satisfied with your current level of growth, if you're looking to diversify channels, maybe you're a little too dependent on Meta, and you want to add YouTube, or you're not pleased with your Amazon growth, then we need to chat. So visit us at omgcommerce.com, click the Let's Talk button. We'd love to schedule a complimentary strategy session with you. And with that, back to the show. Well, hello, and welcome to another edition of the e-commerce evolution podcast. I'm your host, Brett Curry, CEO of OMG Commerce. And today we are talking about an absolutely critical topic: Amazon enforcement and how to keep your listings live and available for shoppers to purchase your goods, and how to avoid suspensions, how to navigate if you do get suspended. And I probably need to tell you if you're an Amazon seller, but it is gnarly out there. And even the best sellers, even 8 and 9 figure sellers, are not immune to having issues impacting the visibility of their listings. And hey, we got to think about this like the retail shelf, right? You can't sell anything in Walmart if your products are all yanked off the shelf. And while that may not be a reality in the physical world all that much, it absolutely is on Amazon. And so today I've got a returning guest. He's a superstar. He's all over. If you're in the Amazon world, you probably know him. He has e-commerce in his name. E-commerce Chris McCabe is joining the show again. We caught up at Prosper Show in Vegas, I guess months ago now, Chris, but you've been traveling the world. I've been speaking at events, and we just now are able to record. But welcome back to the show, and thanks for coming on. And how's it going?
Yeah, no, I always enjoy speaking to you about these types of topics, and we always have good feedback and comments from people that hear it and see it and who are concerned about these things. So
yeah,
things are good. This is a hectic, busy summer. Sometimes summer gets a little quiet. But Prime Day coming early, everything I think is different this year.
Yeah. Yes, we just finished Prime Day, but I know you'd mentioned to me sometimes right after Prime Day, there's an increase in suspensions and listing takedowns and things like that. Amazon's maybe a little cautious about doing that during Prime Day or right before it, but afterwards they're looking at it. And then of course we're prepping for Q4 basically right now and for the next several months. And so Amazon's going to be enforcing things sometimes with AI. And so we need to understand like what are our risk factors? What are the things that could take down our listings? What do we need to be aware of? And then how can we kind of mitigate things if we do get suspended? And so you had shared with me several hot topics that I want to dive into because these are mission critical for all Amazon sellers or brands that are on Amazon. And the first one is review manipulation, right? And then this is one that we all understand from, hey, our competitors, especially we've got, overseas competitors, we're probably confident that they're doing some shady things as far as reviews go. But it's something that really Amazon's trying to crack down on, right? Getting rid of spammy, manipulative reviews and ratings. And so walk us through, what are the things we need to be aware of? What is Amazon looking for, and what could get us into trouble in terms of review manipulation?
Yeah. So it's kind of classic good news, bad news. The bad news being, I'll start with the bad news first. Penalties are harsher. Reoffenders are, generally speaking, not considered as eligible for reinstatement. So if they've been warned or suspended for review manipulation in the past, they should not be experimenting, dabbling, grabbing at gimmicks, looking at hacks they found out about at some event somewhere. They should be super compliant, extra compliant, extraordinarily compliant, because they should consider themselves on their last go.
Don't toe that line. Avoid that line. Just be above board.
Yeah, there's very little wiggle room left anyway, whether you're a reoffender or not. And I can get into that in a second. This is still kind of the bad news answer. I mean, the good news in terms of abusive competitors is it's 10 times better now reporting them for abuse.
Great.
If you do it correctly, which is not support cases, not random calls to account health, not waiting for your SAS core manager to report them for you. That might be part of it. But I mean, reporting abuse and seeing action is higher now than any time I can remember.
Wow.
Yeah.
So maybe we can double click on that, because I'm confident. I mean, this is the thing that I hear so much. Of course, at OMG, we help clients grow on Amazon. And so as we have new brands coming to us, they all complain about those Chinese sellers, with fake reviews and stuff like that.
Right.
And so what's the proper way to notify Amazon that, hey, these sellers are manipulating reviews, take action?
And there's more than one way. Historically, it was emailing escalations to senior management or executives at Amazon, or their staff, their support, their direct reports.
I just text Jeff. I just texted like, hey, Jeff, hope you're not on the yacht, but take a note of this.
Jeff started that's why like Amazon execs can't really ever complain if they get direct emails from people. Jeff himself was the one who began that trend.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Practice of the Jeff had Amazon email, and Jeff had 8 or 9. Back when I was working at Amazon and we got the so-called Bezos escalations, of course, you don't hear about Bezos escalations anymore. Jeff had 8 or 9 assistants, and he had 8 or 9 email addresses, right?
Wow.
And most people didn't know those. They mostly knew Jeff B at Amazon or Jeff at Amazon, which of course now has morphed into a generic email queue, just like writing the seller performance. But Jeff kind of began the trend of emailing directly to S-team execs, or let's just say senior management, because there's only 3 dozen S-team executives, and getting them to delegate directly to mid-level management or higher direct reports that they work with to have a senior quality review, as opposed to doing abuse reports to seller support cases. 90-something% of the time, that's useless. No follow-up, no proper review. That's just marking something like it's been worked on, but it hasn't.
Yep. Yeah.
So we don't do email queues. We used to do that a lot. There used to be multiple abuse reporting email queues, and they were hit or miss. It was worth doing because sometimes you would hit, maybe other times you would miss, and you'd end up escalating it anyway. But if you do it properly, there's been no time that I can recall. Actionable step number 1 right here is report abuse early and often, but do it the right way. Don't send volumes of attachments or info, or don't write 3-page emails unless it's very fact and data driven. Something that they can use to decide if they're going to enforce, or if they're going to ignore it, or if they're going to transfer it, but usable value add info. If it's just mushy comments and complaints, and you can complain a little bit in the first sentence or 2, but that's the rest has to be factual.
This is not prose or emotional, or this is not an essay. This is, let's get right to the facts and make it easy for you to make a decision.
As time has gone on, people have had some success, lesser success, but some success with Twitter posts, tagging certain people. LinkedIn has kind of been the dark horse, which is kind of coming up on the rail on the leaders. LinkedIn's been used a lot more in the last 18 months, I would say.
So reaching out to select team members at Amazon on LinkedIn, is that what you mean? Or just like making a LinkedIn post?
LinkedIn, you're publicly complaining, but also the great thing about LinkedIn is, first of all, there's a lot of high-level Amazonians and high-level people like, us on LinkedIn who are watching this stuff, but you can ask for help, describe a problem. You can be factual. You can tag people who are relevant, both inside the company and maybe ex-Amazon like me. But you get a lot of eyeballs on it. You get a lot of people who care about it. maybe people who don't have an exact answer, but people who are resharing it elsewhere where other people might see it that the original post didn't get to. So, and LinkedIn's the only real proper channel for professional, posts of anything business related or work related, but also Amazon related. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn too. So people are tagging us about posts I do and about their problems. So it's changed, as time goes on, people are sharing more things publicly anyway. Maybe this time next year, people will be doing, YouTube shorts and doing it and tagging people. So
got it. So we're going to keep it factual. We're going to keep it fairly brief, no long prose. We're going to consider posting even on Twitter/X, posting on LinkedIn, and tagging appropriate people, even former Amazonians like yourself. But what else are we looking at doing? Who do we reach out to? Who do we notify to report nefarious review manipulation?
Yeah. The abuse prevention teams at Amazon, for obvious reasons, are largely behind the curtain. So essentially, you're reaching above them to somebody who's high enough that they probably report to them or report to somebody who reports to them. And their skip level would be somebody who would get eyes on it. But you're generating attention for something that's not just impacting you, that could be happening to other sellers, to other brands, creating bad seller experiences, creating less faith in the marketplace. I mean, Amazon...
bad customer experiences, exactly.
Well,
that's the biggest risk here. Yeah.
Ultimately, it results in, whether it's fake reviews or just listing content that's been misrepresented, category abuse. It results in buyers not being able to find things they want to pay for. It involves buyers being misled, misinformation, taking them down the wrong path. It's bad buyer experience, which Amazon exists to provide the best buyer experience. And on top of that, legitimate, honest sellers get punished when abuse goes unreported or unacted upon. So Amazon has their own interests in protecting everyone's experience. And it's not just their own financial interest, because sales would be hurt, their own reputational interest and their own integrity of the marketplace is at stake. And also it just makes it harder for them to pitch you services. Hey, pay us $5,000 for an account manager who's going to help you expand your selection and create accessories for your product. Well, you're less likely to do that if you're fighting a 2 or 3 front war all day with competitors, with bad reviews that don't belong there, with listing sabotage, especially coming out of a peak sales period like Prime Day. Well, what happened during Prime Day? I did a lot of posts on LinkedIn about category abuses. People were showing up randomly in the wrong category. People's listings were vanishing.
Intentionally, meaning people found one of their competitors sneaking into, or someone sneaking into the wrong category on purpose to try to get sales, or that, or competitors pushing you into the wrong category. Oh, God. The famous example is your products wind up in the adult category, which is like what I call search Siberia. Very hard to find your products. And that's maybe a competitor saying, hey, I know what to do with my competitor. I'm gonna put them in the adult category. No one's gonna find them. Got it. Illicit ASIN contributions, sometimes through a vendor central account, sometimes through other means. But there's a variety of ways. This is a well-known, extremely understood problem that crops up every Prime Day. It's just a little bit disheartening that it happened this Prime Day too, but it'll come back in Q4, So you have to be on your toes and aware of that. I like how you started this off by saying there are peak enforcement periods, like a month and a half before Prime Day. And then as soon as Prime Day ends, or Q4, like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all of a sudden the enforcement teams pounce with, well, we waited until this period passed. Now we're going to start enforcing all this stuff. That's true. Like bad ASIN merges, always a hot topic. People are constantly getting busted for merging ASINs inappropriately or reporting their competitors for doing it. They ease off on the pedal with the enforcement right before Prime Day or Q4, and then they dive right back into it because they want a clean catalog. They want to stop these types of practices. It totally makes sense. So and just to circle back, I want to make sure we close the loop, because I don't think we ever fully landed that. So we can post on LinkedIn, we can post on Twitter. A lot of the enforcement team is kind of hidden. behind the curtain, so to speak.
Yeah.
How do we reach out to them, or who do we reach out to? Or is that kind of a little more elaborate than a podcast lends itself to?
I mean, there's too many names to count in terms of S-team executives or senior management.
Got it. But that's what you're wanting. You're wanting to reach out to an S-team member.
Those
basically.
are emails. Those are direct emails.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to rattle them off right now, but that would take a while.
And that might not be the best.
You'd have some good clicks on the podcast for that.
That's true, though. Yeah, I want all the Amazon S-team email addresses. Yeah,
you can't send the same thing to 15 people. That's what sellers. That's their number one mistake. Customize content depending on your audience, depending on where it goes. You're probably contacting the people who do different things at the company that have different types of staff supporting them. Yep. So you don't just say, well, they're high level, so we're going to send the same thing to these 15 people. That's not going to produce a good result. And they're also going to see annotations on your account that show you've sent the same exact thing to other people. So they can just say, oh, great, I don't have to do anything here. Somebody else got the same email.
They'll take care of it. Yeah.
So that's a major mistake people do.
Got it.
But in terms of I know you want to circle back on the review manipulation mistakes.
Yeah. Well, and I think what's interesting here too. So as we look at the review manipulation mistakes, one, these are things for us to avoid, but two, these are things that we could be looking at for our competitors to be able to mention or potentially turn them in. So dual angle here. What should we avoid and what should we be looking at that our competitors might be doing?
Yeah. And if you see anything I'm about to say, if you capture, screenshot, collect evidence, live links, whatever it is of any of the things we're about to talk about, that's abuse reporting. That's exactly what I was just talking about.
Yep.
And no better time than the present to report these things. They take 100%. It very seriously. I cannot recall any other prior period. I've been doing this for 11 years, by the way. I can't remember any other period where...
11 years and former Amazonian, which we failed to mention at the beginning of the podcast, but you were at Amazon.
5.5 years at Amazon, 6 years before that. So 17 out of the last 8. I did take a year off. 17 out of the last 18 years. But I don't remember any period that's been this long of one particular suspension type continually enforced week in, week out for these many months. Prosper is when I last saw you in person.
Yep.
I would say this started in March. And I mean, there's been a little bit of an ebb and flow. Not every single week is as heavy as the week before it or the week after. But we've been consistently getting suspended sellers or the threat of suspension. As you've probably heard, many sellers are in the account health assurance program. So they make you appeal. It's the same process. They make you appeal, but to keep your privileges active. They don't suspend you up front. But this topic's been hot since March. I mean, that's 4 months. That's a long time. For one suspension type. Usually it's like 4 weeks, of like the peak. It's kind of the bell curve.
People kind of clean their act up for the most part. And then Amazon eases off a little bit.
Most suspension types follow the traditional bell curve where there's a little tail in the beginning where they're sort of ramping it up. There's the big bump in the middle. And then as word gets out, people get suspended, reinstated. Some get suspended, not reinstated. Then it kind of tails off over the course of a few weeks. Not this time, not this year.
Well, I mean, this has got to be the biggest issue though, right? I know this is something that all the sellers we talk about or complain about this, but even as a shopper, I'm like, I want to be able to trust the reviews. And if I start to get the hint that these reviews have been manipulated, now what am I trusting? I'm not trusting the whole experience. And so, totally makes sense. So what are some of the things we're looking for here? We're trying to avoid.
And unfortunately, several people are still doing most of the things I'm about to say. Now, I realize a lot of the tricks and techniques are in a cycle, like they get trendy and then they go away. Remember years ago, rebates were a big hot thing, and then those completely went away once bunch of people got suspended. A couple of people are trying to weave rebates back into it now. Inserts, hot topic, then goes cold.
Maybe they're thinking we're at the tail end of that bell curve, and so it's like, hey, we can maybe fly under the radar.
But I would argue that it's no longer trendy or cyclical anymore. I think now you cannot recycle these old tactics, which sending postcards like physical mail to people is just dead. No one should be doing this. I've seen, I don't know how many messages. I've been on calls with Amazon enforcement teams, calls sometimes of my own, calls with other sellers on the call. They are not interested in any mail going to buyers. The messaging's been extremely clear in all the suspension notifications. Don't use residential addresses. Don't send physical mail for anything that's, not essential to the order. They don't want people harvesting emails through QR codes on inserts. I've had a lot of arguments with people about, well, what if the QR code takes you somewhere where they don't ask for a review or where they don't give any product away? First of all, tons of sellers are still giving product away, and all you have to do is scan the QR code. It takes you straight to a page where there's giveaways. And I'm kind of amazed and shocked. I'm still having conversations about, well, what if I give product away, but I don't ask for a review? That question has not been relevant for way over a year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Countless suspensions have been for people. It doesn't matter if you ask for a review or not anymore. That's completely not relevant. If you're giving
QR
product away,
we're giving no give prize away, no
giveaways,
no physical mail.
Period. Amazon assumes you're going to harvest good reviews from giving product away.
Yeah.
So I still see people doing if you're not happy, contact us directly. Here's our email. Here's our phone. If you're happy with the product, please leave us a review. People are still doing that on inserts. I thought that was dead like 2 years ago.
Still happening. Now, I'm assuming one exception could be, on the postcard thing is if you're using Buy with Prime, right? We got a few sellers that also sell D2C. So like on my Shopify store, if I'm doing Buy with Prime, I get all that information, right? Like Amazon's fine with me having all that information because it happened on my site, but Amazon's fulfilling it and doing the merchant fee. With that, I'm assuming we get all the data so we could mail to those customers, correct? Because they're our customers.
That's a different
deal. Yeah.
Deal. What they don't like is that you're using private info data about buyers for your own purposes.
Yep.
And a lot of
like pure Amazon buyer. Yeah.
And then like email harvesting, QR code here, enter your email. We'll send you we'll subscribe you to our newsletter. That's what a lot of people do. We'll send you a product. We'll send you information about new products. Somewhere in that funnel, you're eventually giving them something, maybe later asking for a review. Somebody told me the other day, they're only asking for a review after they, like way down the road, after they send 3 or 4 emails that have nothing to do with anything. Your competitors can see all of this. The reason why none of these marketing tricks that are ancient already anyway, the reason they don't work anymore is because your competitors are getting that information. All they have to do is buy from you. So unless you're somehow lifting out and picking out those particular people, which I know you can't do.
No way to do it. Yep.
All they're going to do is take screenshots of it and report it to Amazon, because I can't tell you how many sellers have told us, Amazon can't see our funnel. Amazon can't see this. It's like Amazon can see anything your competitors can see and take pictures of.
Yep.
That's why this stuff doesn't work. Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
Yep.
I want to take a minute and tell you about Loop subscriptions. Now, what if one platform transition could transform your subscription business overnight? Well, that's exactly what happened to longtime OMG Commerce client Nutripau. They switched to Loop and grew subscription revenue from 4% of total revenue to 20% of total revenue. OC reduced subscription churn by 50%. Lumen achieved 12.6% additional revenue from the payment recovery feature alone. Unlike other platforms, Loop includes dedicated success managers on Slack and costs about 40% less than the competition. Plus, eCommerce Evolution listeners get an additional 50% off the Pro plan. That's nearly 70% in total savings compared to other subscription apps. So if you're ready to join almost 1,100 brands who've made the switch to Loop, visit loopwork.co to book your demo. Okay, cool. So that all makes sense. Avoid all those things. What else are we avoiding from a review manipulation standpoint? Or what are we looking at our competitors to maybe catch them in the act?
People are, some of this is they're hiring a third-party service and they don't vet them for compliance. People are hiring marketing agencies or services who handle their messaging with buyers, like customer service for them. And there's been things even appearing in buyer-seller messaging, like not even an email, right there in the messaging that says, if we help you with a refund or we help improve your experience. Can you change your review from like a 3 to a 5? You can't do that. You can't ask people to change.
Can't make that request. Right.
Nope. You can refund people all you want. You do not ask them to change their feedback, their review, their rating.
Some people might do that on their own, but you can't make that request.
People are still making that mistake. Now, I understand some of them are newer and they don't understand that that's been banned for a long time. Whether you're new or old doesn't matter to Amazon. They're supposed to treat everyone the same when it comes to policy enforcement. And then again, I kind of mentioned this a minute ago, but do not reoffend. Like, don't be guilty of one of these things and then you're guilty of another type of review manipulation, and you think, well, we weren't doing the postcards this time. We were doing illicit language on inserts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, you're playing with so much fire there that you have to...
Repeat offender, just like the court system, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I didn't rob, but I sold drugs. It's fine.
Well, that's
the
court system is typically 3 strikes and you're out. This is 2 strikes.
Yeah, got it.
It is
Court of Bezos.
Much less common now.
Andy Jassy, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, in 2017, 2018, there were people who got busted 2-3 times, wrote a plan of action, got reinstated. They almost never ask for a plan of action anymore. I'm sure most sellers know that because they don't want to read them anymore.
They don't care. Yeah, not reading that.
They want troublemakers off the site. If they mark you as a troublemaker, it probably means that they think whatever you're selling, someone else can sell it in your place.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Who don't give them administrative headaches and problems. That's how they view it.
Yeah.
That's how they
and
view
if
it.
you think you're like too big to mess with, no, you're not. I mean, unless you're Nike or something, but obviously we know there's issues there, but you're not too big. You're not too big.
You mentioned 8-9-figure sellers. The second you said that a minute ago, I thought of some 9-figure sellers we've worked with on these issues, and we were able to help them. Amazon kind of told them right before reinstating them, we're giving you an extra shot out of the kindness of our hearts. But you probably shouldn't be... The reading between the lines was, we probably shouldn't be doing this. We will give you one more shot, but this is an exceptional case. It's not just because you're a 9-figure seller. It's because, we've decided that you presented us a strong enough appeal and you sound sincere, and, we're just tired of talking about this.
But they take another strike. No way they're getting let back in. And
there are 9-figure sellers that have lost their accounts. I mean,
yeah. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Interesting. Cool. What else should we be avoiding on the review manipulation side and or be watching for?
Yeah, no, just be careful with hiring like a group that says we have a bunch of influencers who are going to buy your product and promote it and talk about it. Some influencers have been trying too many products, leaving too many 5-star reviews, and the influencer themselves is probably a problem. And if you're just paying a service who has a group of them and works with a bunch of them over and over, you might not even know that particular influencer has been a problem. Amazon, in the past, Amazon would just delete all the reviews that influencer left, but they're doing more now. Now they're harshly punishing the people that hired the service that used the influencer. So be very careful and vet those services and talk to them about their influencers, or talk to them about their methodology and tactics, because a lot of times Amazon suspends the seller account and they're not even that interested in you as the seller. They're trying to get the guy behind or the woman behind the screen who's helping you, because they know that service is working with a lot of sellers, and they want you to name names. They want to, where did you find these people? What's their methodology? And I saw some sellers appeal saying, oh, this was our methodology. We hired the service, and Amazon declined the appeal and wrote back and said, no. We know what your methodology was already. We want to know what they do. We want to hear what you paid them to do, because we can...
So going after the service providers and the influencers. Interesting.
You know why? They've been prompting all these sellers to name names, and they see the same service named over and over and over, and they start circling them. Like, okay, so these people are the problem. Yeah.
Yep. It's finding the drug dealers, right? It's like, okay, I can find them, but I want to find the drug lords here and then go after them.
I mean, maybe the last word on this would be just document everything. They more or less goad you into terminating the service. So have it in writing, have a contract, terminate them with a dated signed letter, and keep track of that stuff because it ends up being attached to your appeal. So
interesting.
It's a much harsher landscape. This is not 2 years ago where you just apologize, say I'm sorry, take responsibility. That's ancient history with this. So,
yeah. It's like the teacher that's fed up with the students. These folks in Amazon are like, I've had enough. 2 strikes and you're dead. You're dead to me. So totally makes sense. Anything else on the review side, or should we transition to AI takedowns?
I think we should go to the AI takedowns. The last part about the reviews is just Amazon has their own selfish needs and reasons for wanting this to go away. People have bashed them for not having reliable reviews on the site.
Right.
It makes them look
finally
good to
taking
say,
action, which is actually good. Yeah.
It makes them look good to say they're punishing wrongdoers. So don't play into their hands.
Exactly. So AI takedowns, what are those and what do we need to know about them to avoid them?
Yeah. Some people are just getting Amazon bots to take their listings down because they've got improper wording in a title, like you're using trademark keywords, or like if it's a consumable product, they're using disease claims, health claims, unsupported claims. Those are kind of just, those people are trying to rank by inserting certain keywords or certain terms without thinking about how they might be triggering Amazon's AI to take their listings down until they can prove that they have products that have those qualities, or it just might be they're being triggered, they're triggering restricted product bots. So some of that's just low hanging fruit. Keep an eye on compliance. Don't just be going for sales and throwing whatever words you can think of in there. Then there are AI type problems where you are either improperly classified by Amazon in terms of what category you belong in, or you suddenly wake up and that you're in a totally different category. I was talking to somebody recently who they moved from the home category to the media category and they didn't belong in there at all. Well, somebody had made some illicit ASIN contributions and triggered, what maybe in the old days would have been a manual review by a person. It's more likely to be an AI review now by Amazon. And Amazon started asking them
explain that. What is it? What is an illicit ASIN?
Putting in terms which make it look like you're selling a certain type of product, which you're not.
Got it.
Amazon starts asking you for, there are people who were selling Tupperware or books or other types of products who were suddenly being asked for things typical of consumable products, like compliance documentation and testing from ISO certified labs. And that was all because an abusive attack. Somebody tried to make it look like your product belonged in a different category. There are all kinds of ASIN contributions. You should have the strongest level of contributions on your own ASINs, of course. People make illicit contributions and try to update product pages with certain types of information. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different ways they do it. There are a lot of illicit tactics out there. Sometimes it's social engineering where they get somebody at Amazon to do something that shouldn't happen. But you have to kind of have the right tools and software in place to catch this so that you're not completely oblivious when people are tampering with your detail pages. But also you have to understand what's happening to you instead of just calling account health or calling support and complaining and saying, this is all wrong. Amazon screwed up. A lot of people spend time blaming Amazon for something that a competitor did. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. And when you start an interaction in complain mode, you're potentially less likely to get help.
Yeah.
What about improper ASIN merges? I know that's something you mentioned to me before. That's something that some of our clients, we help merge ASINs because there's some valid reasons to do it, right? Mm-hmm. But what is an improper ASIN merger? Maybe contrast that with what a proper ASIN merger is and why you would do it. But why should we avoid the improper?
Oh no, there's plenty of reasons to merge ASINs. This is mostly for people who want to harvest reviews to boost. Maybe you've got a bunch of unsold inventory for a particular ASIN and you've got another ASIN out there with better reviews and you're trying to boost the visibility by putting them together. Maybe you sold out of one ASIN which has all the reviews and the ASIN of with very few reviews, you've got a bunch of unsold product, right? You're trying to take advantage of all the reviews on the other ASIN.
Got it. Yep.
By pretending like it's the same product when it's not. ASIN separation is a lot more common now where Amazon sees what you're doing and they go in there and they re-separate them. Does Amazon improperly separate ASINs sometimes? Of course they do, but a lot of the separations are valid because sellers are trying to merge them for their own, their own sales rank
it's a form
reasons.
of review manipulation in some cases.
It's a form of, most commonly review manipulation. I mean, the other merges are, of course, people are taking over zombie listings, some other listing out there that has a bunch of reviews where it's kind of floating free and disembodied from whatever it was. And people go in there and get Amazonians or using other tricks, merge their product with that listing because that listing has all the reviews. That's why you have a lot of buyers complaining. I went to the older reviews and they're all about shoes. And your product is a salad spinner. Why are the product types different? Well, because two listings that did not belong together at all were merged together. So people are still, I think these are just hacks and gimmicks, and they belong to a mastermind. They go to an event. I understand where these ideas come from. Marketers and services and agencies and lots of people out there are always trying to come up with the next fad.
Yeah, it's the fun thing to talk about, right? That gets people coming back to a mastermind. It makes your service appear more valuable if you're an agency. But these hacks, tricks, manipulations, like it just isn't going to work. And one of the other things you mentioned, you alluded to it earlier, but you talked to me about it offline, is no real gray areas anymore, right?
No.
So like it's very black and white with Amazon right now. Do you want to kind of unpack that a little bit?
Well, certainly with review manipulation, there are no gray areas. And if you look at the policy, which, hopefully you can put in the show notes here,
Totally.
Pretty black and white. There isn't a lot of gray. People try to talk themselves into that there is a gray area. But my main word of advice there is don't talk yourself into how you think Amazon's policy should be interpreted. Focus all your energy on how does Amazon interpret this policy?
Yes. How are they interpreting it? How are they enforcing it?
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Understand that and plan accordingly.
And if you aren't sure, you can talk to me because we do this stuff all the time. You can talk to some people at Amazon. Now, granted, some people at Amazon don't know. Well, obviously don't ask support. Don't ask account help. Don't ask any lower tier staff. If you have an account manager who can run some stuff down for you, if you go to events like Amazon Accelerate in Seattle, you can probably, bump into or meet up with some people who work for Amazon who can explain some of these things to you at Seller Cafe. But don't make assumptions. I still see a lot of people assuming that their interpretation is gold, or they're just looking for more wiggle room. Well, isn't it kind of different if you offer them a warranty? That's a big one with the inserts, right? Well, what if the insert just talks about warranties? I don't know. Down the road, do you ask them to leave a review? Because that's not about the warranty anymore.
Right.
That's why I say there aren't any real gray areas. And when you're suspended for this stuff, which is a kind of a little bit late to learn it, but if you're suspended and you start talking to those teams yourself, you start realizing very quickly, oh, okay, we can't do that stuff anymore. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever I heard at this event or in the mastermind or posted on YouTube, I used to be in the dark myself to an extent, like, where are these ideas coming from? I don't understand why so many people are making these mistakes. That's the 2 or 3 years ago version of me. Now that I've been to some of these events where I've seen people on stage talking about this stuff, or, I see it on YouTube or Instagram or wherever. Now I know that it's just sellers who are looking to boost sales or sales rank or boost their visibility are consuming this stuff and not questioning it. I mean, now I kind of understand. So
Totally makes sense. Awesome. Any final rapid fire tips before we talk about how people can work with you? Because obviously you're the one we recommend if they're wanting to prevent issues, but certainly if there are issues and how to get reinstated, like you're the guy and your team is the team. Mm-hmm. But any other rapid fire tips before we talk about how people can work with you?
I have so many. With appeals, I think word is finally getting around that you can't just use generic templates to appeal, that you can't use ChatGPT to appeal. I think Amazon's catching AI use in appeals and they just throw them away. You can't appeal over and over and over and expect them to read an infinite number of appeals. And you have to show them that you take it seriously because they think you don't care about your suspension or your brand or your business if you send in appeals that your VA did for you. Or,
Yep. Or,
I'm not
ChatGPT,
saying
whatever.
every business owner or CEO is the best communicator or writer,
Sure.
but it's not just about communication. It's about having a strategy.
You want this to feel human and to have the right strategy. But you want them to believe that you're earnest and you are going to make a change. You're not going to be a repeat offender, that type of thing.
Yeah. I quiz people all the time when they say, well, if this doesn't work, we're going to try escalating it. And then if the escalation fails, then we'll call you back. And I say, okay, so when you use the word escalation, that means something very specific in the Amazon appeals space. What do you mean by escalation? Yeah. 9 times out of 10, it's their kind of muddled, hazy idea of basically using the word escalation on a phone call with account health, or putting the word escalation in a Dear Jeff email, like really outdated, not useful. And that worries and scares me because you only get so many cracks at escalations.
Yeah.
And similar to what we said a few minutes ago, if somebody opens an email from you that you send straight to them or their team, and it says escalating blank, reinstatement of our account, and they go in your account annotations and they see that you've done prior escalations, probably not that well, then they'll say, well, this has already been escalated. So
been escalated and got rejected. So why would I do anything different?
So either A, why do I need to read this at all? Or B, they're biased against reinstating you because they can see how many people rejected you previously. So no hasty totally appeals, no shoot first, ask questions later. I don't blame people for thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead and thinking about let's start filling in some notes or drafting a potential escalation. If today's appeal fails, I don't begrudge you that, but that's at least a strategy. Yeah. Be willing to change or customize or modify that escalation. Don't just say we wrote this 3 days ago and now we have new information, but we're going to send the same thing in as an escalation. That's not how this works.
Totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Awesome. So, Chris, when should someone reach out to you and what services do you provide? And then how can someone reach out to you?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, how do people reach us? Support at ecommercechris.com is a good place to email us. Summary info, include messaging from Amazon. You don't have to send us the phone book, just the suspension notification, maybe your most recent appeal, and background or summary info is usually what people do. Reach out to us early in the process. Do not appeal 5 or 10 times and then show us a bunch of failed appeals and then show us a bunch of generic canned messages from Amazon rejecting you. I assume those people are doing it because they don't want to pay the cost associated with hiring us, but think in advance about the time lost and the money lost. If you appeal that many times, that means I assume you're not sending in 5 appeals in 5 hours. It's probably 5 appeals in 5 days. Well, how much do you lose in 5 days? How much do you lose in 5 weeks? People are still coming to us in like week 6 after they've lost 6 figures. And all I can say is I don't understand that thinking. Come to us a lot sooner. Even if you don't hire us right off the first phone call, we can evaluate and we can at least level with you. We're known for being direct and blunt on this stuff. We can at least level with you. We don't waste time with sales pitches. We level with you on what you think we think your current status is before we even talk about what we would do to fix it. So reach out to us early. And it helps to make a hire or not hire decision early in the process too, but it depends on the particulars, of course. So
got it. Yep. Awesome. So ecommercechris.com, email support at ecommercechris.com. Yeah. Also, sounds like you're on LinkedIn. So people should follow you on LinkedIn. Yeah. Also X as well, I assume.
Yeah. LinkedIn. Yeah. I'm on there every day and all the usual social channels at AMZN Chris. CHRIS is social. So Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Check it out. We'll link to that in the show notes. And then also we'll link to that.
Yeah, I said Twitter earlier, didn't I? I meant X. Sorry.
So Twitter. Yeah, it's all the same. Like I sort of think that people will call it Twitter forever, Twitter/X. I don't know. I finally got in the habit of sort of saying X first, but I didn't like it in the beginning. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's tough.
So it is tough, man. It's tough. Well, Chris, thanks again for coming on. Thanks for helping people keep their products live and their accounts in good standing with Amazon so we can keep making money there, keep our products on the shelf. That is the first step in the name of the game of trying to dominate on Amazon. And so I'll link to everything. Also, if you share that links to the policy, I'll put that in the show notes as well. The review manipulation policy. And so with that, Chris, thanks, man. A ton of fun as always, and look forward to seeing you at the next Amazon event we run into each other at.
Exactly. Yep. Thank you again.
Awesome. And as always, thank you for tuning in. We'd love to hear more from you. If you found this show helpful, if you know someone who is in Amazon purgatory or Amazon hell, send them this episode. Let them know about eCommerce Chris. If anyone can help, they can. And with that, until next time, thank you for listening. Today's episode is sponsored by Postpilot. It's the secret weapon behind some of your favorite e-commerce brands, and they're using it to print money on the regular. So if you're already crushing it with Klaviyo, with Meta, then imagine taking that same segmentation and automation and sending it straight to your customers' mailboxes. That's right. We're talking physical mail, personalized postcards that drive serious, trackable revenue. And right now, Postpilot's giving eCommerce Evolution podcast listeners 1,000 free postcard credits just to test it out. But this is for new users only. Just go to postpilot.com and tell them that we sent you to claim your credits. Break through that digital noise and beat rising ad costs. That's direct mail done right. Postpilot.com.